Hey everybody, welcome back to another game from the Dota 2 Cast It subreddit. This is a game submitted by Decency a couple of days ago. As always, I'm Basekip bringing you guys these games, and I really want to get the whole Dota 2 Cast It subreddit thing off the ground. I think it's a great opportunity for amateur casters to find some content to cover, because it is reasonably difficult to find good matches to cover, and it's a good opportunity for other people to learn and that sort of thing. So again, big thanks to Decency for submitting this. I think this is just a match-made CM game, but gonna be getting underway regardless, and we'll see if maybe I'm gonna try and do a little bit more prediction in terms of the CM draft. I mean, obviously I don't know if these are organized teams, so how straightforward the draft is going to be, I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. I guess reminder for anybody who's wondering, this is, I believe, 6.76B, except Drow, CM, and Drow, Centaur, and Silencer aren't in the pool. So Darkseer is going to be the first ban, fairly standard, TA as well. Nothing all too surprising there. One more thing, guys, is that I'm uploading this one in 1080p while I normally do this sort of thing in 720p. So if there are people out there who do enjoy watching it in 1080p, then I'll keep doing this, but otherwise it is a lot of upload bandwidth to keep uploading 1080p games. So if there's no interest in that, I'll just drop it back down to 720p. Again, as always, I haven't been doing a whole lot of casting recently, so quality may be dubious, but hopefully it'll be exciting all the same. And Dire side, just considering this next ban right now, there's still plenty of ban-worthy heroes in the pool, but maybe, yeah, so Batrider's actually going to be banned out. And we've been seeing a lot of Batrider recently. I mean, he's even taken a strength nerf recently. I'm not sure if that's actually through in CM mode right now in Dota 2. I think it might be, and Dirge is going to be the ban as well. And to me, Dirge teams really seem to fall into two camps. There are teams that love playing Dirge, and they're sort of okay playing against him, they don't mind it too much, and there are teams that absolutely despise playing against Dirge, and they don't really play him that much themselves. I'm sure there's some teams in the middle who both love playing him and hate playing against him, but he seems to be a fairly polarizing hero in that regard, and using him effectively is quite difficult. You have to be ready to perfectly execute the sort of all-in timing push that Dirge can entail. I mean, if you're putting him on that safe lane, as soon as he starts getting a few items up, then he's just so ridiculously powerful. It's a great time to try and secure an advantage or even end the game. But first pick coming up right now for the Dire side. Nothing really given away. Perhaps the Batrider ban. I mean, TA was already banned out, so maybe looking to head towards another solo mid that's maybe fairly weak against Bat. And Rubik's actually going to pick up, so that could be the solo mid. Rubik's taken a lot of nerfs recently, unfortunately. I mean, if we compare him to sort of how he was a few patches ago, he's now 15 move speed slower, I believe, 10 or 15. He's also, Fade Bolt bounce range was decreased as well. Fade Bolt damage was reduced slightly, and so yeah, I mean, he still sort of warrants the first pick, but he has sort of been falling out of favor. He's less, I guess, blatantly overpowered now. I really didn't think he was overpowered before, but the nerfs haven't seemed to have hurt him too much, so we'll see how this plays out. And Tidehunter and Jakiro picked up, so great supports already for the Radiant side. Jakiro's just been so popular right now. I mean, sort of catapulted into the competitive spotlight ever since that Ice Path change went through. And not to be a Jakiro hipster or anything, but I really enjoyed playing Jakiro before he was changed. I mean, Ice Path, yeah, it was difficult. It required a setup stun, so he wasn't the most powerful support overall, but he was still fantastic in team fights. And with this minor change, he's really sort of had an opportunity to shine, and it's been great to see. And Tidehunter as well, always a really solid pickup. And the teamfight advantage is definitely sort of in the hands of the Radiant right now. I mean, with Rubik, he's probably going to be able to pick up Ice Path, Macropyre, Dual Breath, maybe the Ravage, depending on how this plays out. And CM is actually going to be the second pickup here, so already grabbing out that hard support. and does mean that, well, Shadow Fiend as well, so I guess this is just a matchmaking game. And so with the CM, Rubik isn't going to be playing in that hard support role, and it'll be interesting to see where this SF is run. I guess the Batrider ban makes a little bit more sense now. Bat is a complete hard counter to Shadow Fiend. I mean, Shadow Fiend is so squishy. He has no lane control at the start of the game, and I mean from level 1, level 1, level 2 sticky napalm stacks completely force him out of the lane. And Bounty Hunter is going to be the pickup now by the Radiant, so that's going to be their hard lane solo. So lane sort of forming up right now for them. They still need a solo mid, and I guess calling that the Dire do need sort of a long lane solo right now. So Syllabear going to be banned out. Venomancer was the ban for the Dire side, but I'm not sure if that's the best choice. I mean, Jakiro can play a bit of a fourth role, but I'm not sure if they're going to be looking for the hard support like the Venomancer, given that they've already got the Tidehunter and the Jakiro. Sand King now the ban. Again, so another sort of hard lane solo, I suppose. I mean, Dire side could be going for a bit of a tri lane, or we could just see duo solo duo, something along those lines. But I would expect to see the Bounty Hunter in a solo lane, so gonna have to see what ends up happening down bot for the Radiant squad right now. And Enigma banned out as well, so yeah, that's a jungler gone. I mean, Chen and Enchantress are still both there, and that would make the Radiant's lanes work quite nicely if they've got someone to play one of those micro-intensive junglers. And the best thing about their drafting right now is, well, that they got the supports out of the way right at the start. And I mean, you can't really counterpick to the Tidehunter and Jakiro. You can get, somebody who's a reliable pipe carrier or something along those lines. And one of the very few hard lane solos left in the game going to be banned out now. CK is going to be the pickup, so maybe going to be seeing something like a CK-CM duo mid, something like that. But going back to the point that I was just trying to bring up was that the Radiant now, with picking up the supports, picking up the sort of the safe picks early on, it means that they can react better to the Dire's pickups sort of with their later picks. I mean, the Dire have sort of shown their hands a little bit, and now the Radiant have the opportunity to say, okay, well, these are sort of going to be the lanes. What are our best picks for our solos? What are our best picks, to round out our lineup? Well, I think the Dire definitely haven't drafted themselves into a corner, but we're going to have to see how they choose to run this. I mean, Shadow Fiend could be taking mid. Shadow Fiend against Invoker is a fairly classic matchup. We could see a Rubik CM Chaos Knight tri-lane, perhaps down on bot, going aggressive, up against whoever the safe lane farmer for the Radiant side is going to be. And that would just leave them with a safe farmer up on top, or they could be putting the CK in that safe lane and now looking for a hard lane solo. The Beastmaster is still there if you're looking for a hard lane solo, and I'm just going to change something, sorry guys. But Brewmaster is actually going to be the pickup here, so probably Brewmaster up on that top lane, CK, CM, and Rubik heading down towards bot, and maybe SF towards mid, or we could just see a couple of duo lanes and a solo mid. But again, my predictions are always pretty woeful, and people are always surprising me, so we'll have to see. And what is the very last pickup going to be for this Radiant squad? I think they just need a safe lane farmer, and it can sort of be whatever carry they want. I mean, there's not a whole lot of carry potential over on the Dire side. I mean, the CK falls off a little bit in the mid game, picks it up late game. Shadow Fiend sort of a mid game carry, more of a clutch hero. A bit of a semi-carry, more than a hard carry. And the Brewmaster as well, very, very strong mid-game. So mid-game's looking great for the Dire side right now, but good ganking, great team fight for the Radiant, and depending on whether we see a Quas Exort or a Quas Vex Invoker, their team fight is looking ridiculous. And if they just want to go for a turtling strat with sort of 4 protect 1 while they have someone farm up in that bottom lane, they definitely could. Something to keep in mind is that the Brewmaster is going to be putting Drunken Haze on whichever right clicker they do choose to pick up here. So something baked into the hero to sort of deal with that would be extremely helpful. Something like a Mirror Images. The Naga Siren is still there. Great setup for the team fight that they've got. What else? I mean, just standard Manta carriers. The Luna is still there. What else? Anti-Mage as always, is sort of lurking around in the shadows, but going to have to be making a decision fairly soon. But I would expect to see just the primary farmer down in that bottom lane to be picked up here. I mean, they could go for someone that's fairly mid-game. Morphling's still there, Juggernaut's still there. And I mean, Bounty Hunter's going to be recovering really well from... Oh, it's going to be DK, but going back to that point, just talking about recovery mechanics for hard lane solos, and Bounty Hunter, track is probably one of the best recovery mechanics in the game. All he needs to do is just sit in invis and get to level 6. So everybody's going to be picking up their heroes now. I'm going to get into the game, butcher the pronunciation on everybody's names, and then we'll be getting underway. So again, I don't know the first thing about these teams. This is just the game posted on the Cast It subreddit, which you should all check out. But yeah, looks like it's going to be an exciting one all the same. I really like these lineups. The CM pickup second, not 100% sure about that, and we'll have to see how the Shadow Fiend works out. And DK as well, I mean, he could be heading towards mid, but sort of a Pinoy DK style, but I do expect to see him down on the bottom lane. So, actually I guess I criticized the Dire for maybe being a little bit, well, sort of showing their hand a bit with regards to lanes, but yeah, I guess that they've kept me guessing, so we'll have to see how they choose to run this. But anyway, going to be getting into the game. So over on the Dire side, we've got Kool-Aid playing the Chaos Knight. We've got Krebiz playing the Rubik. We've got the Floss playing the Crystal Maiden. We've got West playing Brewmaster. And we've got WumbO playing the Shadow Fiend. And just Slippers and a Tango picked up on him. Already heading straight towards that mid lane. Okay, so a little bit of all chat happening there. Over on the Radiant side, we've got Sandstorm going to be heading towards mid. On this Invoker, Gauntlet of Strength picked up early, perhaps a little bit unusual there, but I guess extremely tanky between that Pointing Claws and the Gauntlet picked up. And Towley going to be playing the Jakiro. We've got Winter Minute playing the Dragon Knight. It's going to be Odin 607 playing the Tidehunter, and Decency is going to be on this Bounty Hunter, and stat picked up on him. Wards just dropped off from the Tidehunter, so he is going to be heading up towards that hard lane solo. And all of the Dire side right now just hanging out up on the top rune. Maybe trying to spot out the Bounty Hunter. He may wrap all the way around, try and block off the pull camp. And do we have any obvious indications of how this top lane is going to be running? So the Floss has already picked up an early Smoke of Deceit. West has got that stat shield picked up. Kool-Aid with a Clarity in his inventory as well. So it looks like they're going to be trying to go fairly aggressive early on, and the Telekinesis up on Rubik as well. So Towley's just hanging out in the trees down on bot, so it is going to be a bit of a tri-lane down on bot, and no contest on this pull camp whatsoever, so splitting the XP two ways in lane, and then somebody's going to be stacking and pulling to jungle up a bit. And Decency going to get that ward down, and Ward a little bit out of position there, in fact, for the Dire side right now. Normally you want to have it a little bit... Well, actually, Decency needs to be careful here. He's got the point in Shadow Walk to start, and do they have any detection just yet? No, so... Dire side's smoking up there, but not going to find anything. But Krev is actually going to throw Decency up onto the cliff, so... He's going to be stuck there for a while, and the ward down as well. Is he just going to try and camp this out? The Decency isn't going to be able to get a TP over here for a while. They need to farm up a flying and a TP scroll for him. There's nothing that he can do. And that's just so cheesy on the Rubik. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit cheesy. You can't do it in Dota 1. I mean, the tops of cliffs and things aren't allowable targets for vacuum and telekinesis. So it's a bit strange that still hasn't been changed in Dota 2. But two camps stacked up here by the Radiant down on bot lane, so a whole bunch of XP stacking up there. First blood already going to go on mid. 4 heroes diving in for this Invoker. And I did not expect that. Sorry, guys. A bit of a mistake by me. So Shadow Fiend probably in control of this middle lane right now. Going to get some free last hits. Already stacking up those Necromastery points. And the Dire side just going to be roaming around right now. Just leaving Brewmaster to solo up on that hard lane. So it is going to be a tri-lane down on bot. But both of these camps are already running for the Radiant side, and they're getting some good XP from it. Rubik now heading around, but he's still only level 1. CK as well, only level 1, and the CM level 1 on her as well. Almost level 3 up on this DK, and going to be able to start picking up some points in that Dragon Blood soon, if that's what he wants. I mean, they've got a great XP advantage down on this bottom lane already. If he just wants to go for the nukes, then I don't think it would be all that, all that strange. And up on top, we've got Bounty Hunter up against the Brewmaster. I mean, it should be fairly good for the Brewmaster. Can dodge a few of those Janata hits. But the lane to watch right now is really going to be this bottom lane. And, I mean, Dire's Head splitting XP three ways still. They're looking for kills. And, I mean, there's not a whole lot of XP for them to get down in this bottom lane while the Radiant is still stacking and pulling. If we compare the levels, still level 1 on all the Dire heroes, almost level 2 on Jakiro and Tide, and up to level 3 on the Dragon Knight. And 2 supports now sort of forced into lane just to babysit the Dragon Knight a little bit and keeping the pressure on. Telekinesis going to go back. Is there going to be a stun? No. So Rubik maybe just wasting a little bit of mana there. And perhaps, not the best communication. I'm not sure if these teams are organized again, so sorry about that if you guys are. I'll try not to say anything too strange. And Ward used up here to, the Decency now out of, well, Kool-Aid, long way from home. He's going to be picked off here. And great Ice Path from Tally. Rubik now the target. CM gonna get the slow off, but good body block by Odin. Gonna get ahead of the Rubik one more time. Tally waiting for the Ice Path. Lands on 2. And here we go. Looks like the Rubik gonna be going down as well. One more right click gonna secure that kill. Reality Rift comes back in with the CK. 2-second stun. Odin might be picked off here. One more right click is all they need. Yep. And there goes the Crystal Nova. Kool-Aid wants Winter Minute, but he's up to level 4 now. So tanky on that DK. Kool-Aid just barely escapes with his life. And looks like he tried to pop off a salve there. I thought I heard that, but I think maybe the range creep canceling that off. So CM gonna pass off her salve to the Chaos Knight. He's now up to level 3 from that engagement, but not that great overall. And Winter Minute already picked up those boots. No mana left for him. And are there any clarities left down this bottom lane? Still a couple. And actually, Decency's gonna be a little bit behind up on this top lane just because he got thrown up onto that cliff. And blocking up the pull camp, not going to be doing anything, so with West soloing up here. But how is this tri-lane going to work down on this bottom lane? The Radiant are just going to be happy right now to just stack and pull, get that level 6 up on the Tidehunter, get a few more levels up on the Jakiro as well. Crystal Maiden heading down now, but still extremely poor. Picks up another Smoke of Deceit, and Invis going to be picked up by the Invoker, and as these illusions pop off from WumbO. So Invoker, again, he's not doing great. On this middle lane with that early gank, SF really getting in control, and Invoker, well, he lost some base damage recently as well, so he's not as easily able to stand up against the Shadow Fiend. And Invoker heading up towards the top lane now. West needs to be careful, and Cold Snap's going to go as well. Decency and Sandstorm doing some good damage. West going to pop off those stick charges, and Boots perhaps a little bit too fast. Decency now wrapping around again. Janata going to be off cooldown in just a second. TP support is coming in, but the Tornado going to fly as well, and that Janata hit is going to finish him off. So another kill going the way of the Radiant side right now, and Decency probably in a little bit better control of this top lane. And Rubik needs to be careful. He's just TP'd in, but it's a level 5 Bounty Hunter up against a level 3 Rubik. He's going to get some XP, and West is probably going to head back up here in a second as well. TP scroll already picked up, so good job shopping before he died. But Rubik now not able to help out down in this bottom lane, so CM and CK need to be extremely careful. Looks like Jakiro is considering wrapping around right now. Winter Minute not quite able to get the stun off, and Ice Path not going to land on the Floss, but Winter Minute deciding he wants the CM. Just look at that right click damage. Reality Rift back into tower range, a huge Reality Rift there. Looks like it's going to be a kill for Kool-Aid, and it's a solo kill as well. Lots of XP going his way, and that was about as lucky a Reality Rift as I think Kool-Aid could have gotten there. It pulled him. He barely moved, and DK got pulled all the way back into tower range. So a whole bunch of tower hits, finishing off the Dragon Knight. And Tidehunter just going to take care of XP right now. And Decency deciding to head down, camp out the 6-minute rune. He's going to try and wrap around on this Shadow Fiend right now. And Invoker doing a little bit better with that gank up on top. Decency now moving into position. Tornado going to go. Cold Snap, not enough mana, however. Track's going to go up, but no Janata hit out of the Windwalk. WumbO might be okay here. Going to start bottling up. Turns around. Is he going to be able to kill him? Cold Snap now enough mana. So 1-for-1 the trade, and Sandstorm picking up that final kill. But yeah, WumbO able to get that kill off before dying. So getting the XP for that. Not going to be all too concerned. And it leaves the mid lane fairly even still, and just look at the last hits and dies. Shadow Fiend's up to 31 for 20, and it's only 6 minutes in. He is doing fantastically. Five last hits a minute, and about 3 or 4 denies a minute as well. Rubik's now down on this bottom lane as well, but neither of these supports have boots. And Crystal Nova's going to go, but Tally continues to chase. Going to land the Ice Path. Now Odin's in position. Gush going to fly as well. And it looks like the Floss is going to be going down here, trying to do whatever damage he can, but the track is going to go off as well right before he dies. Kool-Aid now stunned up by the Dragon Tail. They're going to try and retreat out now, but Rubik is so slow. 290 base move speed now. Bounty Hunter moves in position, gets the Janata hit off, and the track. Going to be another track kill going the way of the Radiant side right now. And this tri-lane down on bot is not having any luck at all. 5 heroes down here right now for the Radiant side as well. So probably going to try and pick up a tier 1. And West, he's now level 7, so he's got that split. Can TP down towards bot. And the Floss heading in as well, but it's only a level 2 Crystal Maiden. And I mean, we're talking level 4, level 5 on the heroes that were down this bottom lane. Odin maybe a little bit out of position now, going to get stunned up for 2 seconds, but the Tornado's going to fly through. Kool-Aid now hit by the Janata, Cold Snap on him as well. Tracked up, is it going to be one more track kill? One more right click is all Invoker needs, going to pick that up. Decency maybe going to go down to the tower, but no, Stick Charge is going to keep him up. And going to pop off that healing salve as well. He's going to be fine. Brewmaster now down here on the bottom lane. And popped off that primal split. Odin trying to regen up from the healing salve and not cancelled off, so he's going to be fine. West now out of that ultimate and not enough mana for the stomp either. He's going to be picked off by the Cold Snap. Another kill going the way of the Dire side, of the Radiant side, sorry. And Rubik now trying to retreat out, but again, he's just so slow. Constant team fighting down in this bottom lane. Sandstorm stunned up and pulled backwards by the Reality Rift. Looks like he's going to be going down. Doesn't have enough mana to get into the Ghost Walk. And the Floss actually going to finish that off with one more right click, so now has enough mana for his money. Sorry, has enough money for his boots, and almost tranquil boots as well. But WumbO actually pushing now up on the top lane. Regen bottled up for him. Ring of Aquila keeping the creep wave pushed forward, and maybe just gonna nuke down these creeps. Is there gonna be any reaction from the Radiant side? So TP now coming in by the Bounty Hunter. Tower getting fairly low, not quite gonna get into the deny range from this wave perhaps. And WumbO now backing off. Big dive down on the bottom lane. Stun on the Rubik. And Tide going for the Anchor Smash, but Kool-Aid now retreating out, so no kill. And well held by Winter Minute and Odin. And Winter Minute goes back to farming for now, but there's been so much action down on this bottom lane. And WumbO now down on bot as well. Tread's picked up on him. They want to find these kills, but Towley's coming in as well. And Decency going to find that deny up on that top lane as well. And WumbO now revealing himself off, declaring that they really want this tower, but there's 3 heroes down here, and Tidehunter only 300 XP away from that Ravage. I mean, Pole Camp has been blocked off, but that ward is slightly out of position, in fact. Not perfectly on Magic Push, which I believe is right there. But anyway, now Dire side moving forward. Kool-Aid going in aggressively. Not enough mana for the Relative, and going to get the stun off, but Krebs is going to be picked off almost immediately. And WumbO now in trouble, ticking down, tower hitting as well. Tornado going to fly through. Looks like he might be picked off from that damage. And Cold Snap going to finish him off as well. So Sandstorm coming down perfectly to support on that bottom lane as the dive happened. I mean, 11 for 5 right now for the Radiant side. Playing perfectly. TP support coming in whenever it needs to. And, yep, I mean, this Rubik is not having a fun time at all. Finally, Boots picked up on him. But DK in that dragon form, going to be burning down this tower, absolutely no problem. Probably going to be a tier 1. Decency moving forward, going to throw off a track. And Mana Boots actually picked up on him as well, so maybe going to be seeing Nukes, Bounty Hunter, something like that. Tower not going to be denied. Sandstorm able to pick up that last hit, so that's going to be enough for his drum. And Towley fairly rich as well, almost with those Arcane Boots. Maybe just going to camp out for those right now. Yeah, looks like he will be, so just going to buy up those Arcane Boots, picks them up, regens his team's mana, and I mean, now they can just be happy to sort of go back to their lanes. They're team fighting perfectly, and they only just, well, they haven't picked up the Macropyre yet, but the Ravage is now online, so they're looking even better. And West now back up top, looking to get a little bit more farm, but CK not having a great time. He's almost to his drum, if that's what he's heading for with that Bracer. But both of these supports down in this bottom lane, they just cannot stack up to the Tidehunter and the Jakiro. And I mean, a smoke picked up, so that's perhaps a kill there, but Radiant deciding to stay grouped up for now, not getting any XP up on this top lane, but looks like they're going to be heading up there right now. And Sandstorm going to get the Cold Snap and the Tornado up. Decency heading in behind. He's actually heading towards an urn right now, so good support items for his team. And the Floss and Krebs now smoked up, looping around, maybe going to find Towley, but CK is not going to be positioned to help this. Floss gonna reveal himself off, not gonna get the Crystal Nova. Tally will be pulled back, however, and Kool-Aid now comes around, only a 2-second stun, but the right clicks are probably gonna be there to pick him off. Reality Rift backwards, Kool-Aid gonna be able to pick up that kill. And DK able to retreat off as that happens, so just the one kill there. But an important one all the same, and they definitely needed to get these supports back into the game. And up on top, Decency actually going to go down to WumbO and the Panda split. And WumbO, I've just not been able to keep track of him on the map right now. He has been all over, and now back up onto this top lane. TP back down towards bot. Sandstorm is now here. Krebs moving forward, still not level 6 on this Rubik, just barely going to dodge the Dragon's Breath, but not able to dodge this Tornado, and the Cold Snap on top. EMP now as well, and Tide moving forward, gonna get the Gush off. Krebs gonna be picked off just by right click. Looks like Odin wants to keep going. There is no tier 1 tower. They're gonna keep chasing, but Tranquil Boots up on this CM. Maybe a little bit too fast. Kool-Aid comes back with the Ravage, is gonna pop just for him, and the stun as well from the DK. Maybe stacking that just a little bit, and that might let Kool-Aid get away. And Cold Snap now on him. Is there any damage to follow up? There's one more tick. Not quite enough. No, not quite picked off. And Helm of the Dominator, a little bit of a strange choice for the CK, but I guess he can use it to stack up those Ancients, maybe build himself a little bit of a pool of gold there. And West, I mean, the push is now happening down on bot. Winter Minute now back up into that dragon form. And Twin-Edged Dragon, that Liquid Fire on the tower, it's such a powerful pushing spell. And actually going to back off for now. And DK ultimate form almost over, so probably a pretty good decision there, just to play it safe. And they're in such an advantageous position right now. I mean, 1.5k gold, 1k gold, 1.5k XP, so doing fairly well. Difference probably not as big as it could be, and some good pickoffs by the Dire side, getting that smoke gank off in the Jakiro as well. And it looks like they're going to be going for another smoke right now. Winter Minute maybe needs to be careful, but looks like they're just wrapping around towards mid. Do they have any detection for Decency, however? They do not, so it looks like he's probably just going to be able to escape. Is there anything on WumbO? He's going to pop out that double damage, and is the burst damage going to be there? Goes into the invis, picked up, thrown backwards, no blind raise, but thrown into tower range, so there is going to be the detection there. And well played there, one more kill, going the way of WumbO. So he's now 3 for 2, 88 CS on him as well. He is just doing fantastically this game, and completely taking control of mid after that early gank on the Invoker. And he's really, really scary right now. I mean, up to level 11, while the highest over on the Radiant side is level 9 on Sandstorm, on that Invoker. So WumbO doing really well. Going to be looking towards that BKB fairly soon, I would expect. Just another 1.7k gold to farm up on him, and jungling for now, so not going to take him all that long. Down on bot, Winter Minute picked up the Helm of Iron Will, so either going to be heading towards Helm of the Dominator or an armlet. The new armlet is really, really good, even with the toggle time being reduced back down to 2 seconds, I believe, from 1 second in the most recent patch. And Sandstorm now trying to be active again, looking for some more kills, but actually just going to be jungling up a little bit for now. Looks like they want the tier 2 down on bot. Kool-Aid needs to be extremely careful. He's probably a little bit out of position, long way from home, tries to head in, buys up a TP scroll. Is he going to be able to get out? Hides in the back. Now maybe trying to juke, dodges the ice path, but gets stunned up. There's 4 heroes here. It's going to be a track kill as well, so Kool-Aid going to go down. And just able to buy up that TP before he dies. And the Flossen, well, Krebs, God, this is the one pronunciation that I'm going to be butchering all game. So I'm sorry if you ever watch this game, Rubik. You'll have to correct me on that somehow. Rubik now up to level 6, so does have that, does have the spell steal. And there's some great spells for him to steal. The Quads Wex Invoker, fairly reliable to steal from. And the Jakiro as well, doesn't really have a bad spell in his arsenal. Sandstorm now moving forward aggressively, throws in the Tornado, but West has the ultimate available and a Blink Dagger as well. Can blink forward, gets the stomp. Winter Minute gonna pop off the stun, and not enough just yet for the ultimate. Throws the Drunken Haze as well. Stick Charge is not going to bring him up enough, needs to just regen up for now. And spell stolen now, so Dragon Tail there, but DK is going to be picked off there by the 5 Radiant heroes, so WumbO coming in as well, and the Radiant side just going to back off for now. Odin actually up on this top lane, and almost to a Blink Dagger for him. Looks like the Dire might just pick up a tier 1 down on bot, and I'm not sure if there's any contest for the Radiant right now. No TP on Sandstorm, 1 TP on Towley, TP on Decency, And the TP on Odin, in fact, and the Ravage available, but looks like they might just be giving up this tier 1. Fortification actually going to pop off, but nobody is moving to position to defend this. So it will be a tower picked up, and Tide now picking up that Blink Dagger. So, well, tier 1 and that kill for free, basically down on the bottom lane, and Dire looking much, much stronger. I really thought after that tri lane, sort of, well, it didn't really fall to pieces, but didn't find the kills that they were maybe hoping for, that they'd be a little bit out of this game, but finding some good kills from here, and Tally going to spot out that invis rune, so picks that up. And just heading down now, there is no detection over on the Dire side. And 3 heroes forming up in the middle lane for the Radiant side right now. And WumbO's actually been pushing up on top. Shadowblade actually the choice for him. And going to be a bit of an engagement here on mid. Ravage going to pop. EMP as well. Krebs getting really, really low, and the Ice Path going to hit him as well. And the Shuriken Toss finishing him off west. Fairly tanky, but now Cold Snapped up, taking some big damage. One more track kill going the way of the Radiant. Decency continues to chase Kool-Aid. No Janata hit for another 5 seconds. Now just trying to get a little bit more damage up. Stuck in tower range. Odin blinks forward. One more right click. Gonna finish that off. The Floss now comes in from the side, and Odin just barely trapped in tower range. Are there going to be enough right clicks here? The Floss crests the high ground, and that tower hit is going to finish him off there. So Decency and Sandstorm now going to back off, and the tier 1 on mid also picked up there. And up on top, WumbO just continues to push. And Tally in big trouble. One more right click is going to do it. WumbO able to pick up that kill for free and not even using the backstab on the Lothars. TP now in by Decency. But WumbO just going to pop off the Lothars. Gets the backstab hit. One more hit. Is he going to find that another raise? It would have to be blind and not able to pick it up. So WumbO just going to keep going for this tower. Decency maybe just going to reveal himself off of the track and tries to go for the deny, but WumbO actually able to pick that up. And Shadowfiend is playing out of his mind right now, doing extremely well. I mean, 5 for 2 for 1, 133 CS. He's farming fantastically. Some of that is jungles, but he is up to, well, 9k net worth, so doing reasonably well. And now going to TP back down towards bot. And Kool-Aid continues to farm up. Still not really close to any big item from here, but Helm of the Dominator picked up. Still hasn't actually dominated the creep, so no stacking of any camps or the Ancients. And WumbO actually going to stack that up there, but I mean, Helm of the Dominator, you may as well use the active, even if you just pick up an Alpha Wolf or something like that to push out a lane. And Sentry going to go down, but not spotting out any Radiant Wards right now. And Radiant Wards actually all, well, Dire Wards, sorry, all in the jungle right now, so trying to spot out anyone heading in there. And Winterminute actually opts to pick up the Helm of the Dominator himself as well, so will DK perhaps dominate a creep and stack up the Ancients? We'll have to see. And Sandstorm now actually straight to the Mystic Staff, so it looks like he's heading towards that Scythe device. And Tally had those mana boots for a while, he's just buying up boards. And what is Odin heading towards? He's had that blink for a little while. Ravage going to be off cooldown in 10 seconds, but a big smoke right now for the Dire side. Kool-Aid, the first one, going to find a 3-second stun onto Tally. Telekinesis on him as well. Reality Drift. Tally going to actually be able to get that Macro Pyro and the Ice Path, doing some huge damage. Actually able to retreat it now, and the Ravage popping off as well. Kool-Aid in big, big trouble. No mana left for him. He's going to be picked off. 2 dead on the Dire side right now. And Winterminute send up into the air. Brewmaster needs to get out of here and tries to use the invis. Well, West now out of that ultimate. WumbO comes in, gets the ultimate off, picks off one already. West in big trouble. Is the right click going to be enough from Sandstorm? But WumbO is here to clean up. And going to turn around on Winterminute right now. Going to have the Lothar's backstab in just a second as well. All raises off cooldown, but the track move speed probably a little bit too much. Is tracked up. Going to get that kill on the Tidehunter. Turns around on Decency, pops off the stick charges. Is he going to be able to find that raise? Cancels. Gets stunned up by the DK, and that is going to be the kill. Oh, but the Martyrdom Requiem of Souls gonna pick up that kill. WumbO with the ultra kill, coming a little bit late to that team fight, but completely cleaning up. And it was looking to be 4-0 for the Dire side there. So WumbO doing fantastically. Yeah, it's neat, but I don't know, Martyrdom on a hero is a little bit strange. And WumbO just gonna have a pause right now, so I'll just take a quick opportunity to glance at the XP and gold. It is blocked a little bit by the pause, but XP heading back towards 0 right now. But a lot of that is on the Shadow Fiend. I mean, he's up to level 16. The next closest on his team is West at level 12. So, and I mean, Shadow Fiend, he's going to fall off a little bit. I mean, there's only so much he can farm. I guess that's not really, you know, a practical limit. But the marginal gains from each level that he gets here are much less compared to, you know, getting another rank up in some skill on the Rubik or something along those lines. And West actually going to disconnect. But yeah, I mean, the level distribution a little bit more even over on the Radiant side, but WumbO is just absolutely huge right now. I mean, 9 kills up on him. And how is the gold looking? Swinging back towards 0 as well, but again, a lot of that is in the pockets of the Shadow Fiend. If we look, it's Dire and then 3 Radiant heroes, and those track kills have been doing a lot for the Radiant side as well. That, I mean, 7 kills is the split, but a bunch of those are track kills as well. And just a little bit of talk about Hurricane Sandy. I guess fortunately I'm in Australia. I haven't been affected by it, but to anyone on the east coast of the United States, I hope you guys are doing okay. I know it's been pretty rough, and I guess maybe we haven't even seen the full extent of the damage just yet. And just a little bit of chat. I don't know how far away the end of this pause is. I might just zoom forward just a little bit just to get through this. And West now going to reconnect, so going to expect the unpause in just a second. Floss picked up the Staff of Wizardry, so probably going to disassemble those Tranquil Boots. Try and pick up a Force Staff. Going to be a big help trying to kite away from the Bounty Hunter and the DK. But the chasing power over on the Radiant is ridiculous. I mean, they've got the track move speed. They've got Quaswex Invoker with a drum who's moving extremely quickly. I mean, with the track and that drum charge popping off, I don't think there's any escaping them right now. And plus all of the slows and snares, the Gush, the Cold Snap, and even the ranged DK stun when he's in that dragon form. So it's going to help out, but maybe could have looked to get a little bit beefier on the CM first. Maybe pick up a bracer, something along those lines. And CK looks like he's actually heading towards a BKB right now. After the Helm of the Dominator. Still, neither team opting to use that Dominator to stack up the Ancients. And DK is great at clearing them out, so I guess a little bit of an odd decision there. And actually opting to pick up the rank 2 Dragon form at level 11 as well. I do know a lot of people tend to leave that until level 15 and then go straight into Frost Dragon at level 16. And with all of these towers left for them to pick up as well, I mean, 4 outer towers still there. I think maybe holding on to the Green Dragon could have helped them out, maybe just a little bit more. The splash damage on the Red Dragon isn't super significant, at least to my mind. Sandstorm, I mean, they had such a great early game. The Hex Rush could have been really big, but now that I guess WumbO is coming in and sort of helping out clean up these fights, it's going to take him a long time to finish up that Scythe of Ice. And Tali, he continues to ward, not a whole lot of gold up on him. And again, Odin still has the Blink Dagger, picked up some Mana Boots as well. And this pause continues, so just going to zip through until Bounty Hunter reconnects as well. But yeah, I mean, if they can leverage WumbO's strength into getting the rest of their heroes sort of towards the late game, then I think that the Dire is sort of still in with a chance right now. But WumbO needs to be in the middle of these team fights and opting for a fairly sort of damage-oriented build right now. I'm completely ignoring whatever's being said in chat, so if there's anything a little bit odd there, sorry about that, guys. I guess I'm not in control of it, but so Decency now going to reconnect. Again, big thanks Decency for posting up this replay, and going to have an unpause right now. So WumbO's dead for a little bit, but Radiant not really in position to pick up anything. And we're just going to have that laugh spam. I guess for anyone who doesn't know what that is, if you type LOL while it's paused, and so that'll play the global laugh sound. Well, it turns out that if you all type laugh out loud when it's paused, and then you unpause, all of those stacked up laughs will play at the same time. But so game unpaused now. Sandstorm just going to try and farm up that Hex. He's a long way away. I mean, 3k gold still left for him to farm, and just jungling up a little bit right now on this Invoker. And Orb's actually freaking out a little bit there. Not sure what's up with that. Probably just a bit of a visual glitch, but who knows. And Winter Minute going to walk right past this Dire ward. Still fairly aggressive warding from the Dire side right now. A little bit defensive again on this Observer ward just here, and not actually giving them any sight of this camp. I mean, it's not that important. They are the Dire side, so this is really their camp. But This ward is normally just a little bit further up here, but it's a really minor criticism. And Roshan, he's been up this whole time. Neither team really looking for him. And Radiant now sort of forming up a little bit down on this bottom lane. And Odin now heading towards a pipe, in fact. So trying to do something about the damage from that Requiem of Souls. And is anyone carrying Dust? I mean, SF's got a Lothar's. Towley's got some sentries. So that's going to help. And actually, over on the dire side, who has detection? WumbO doesn't. West doesn't. Krebs doesn't. And who else? The Floss doesn't. He's now finished up his 4-staff. And one more here. WumbO. Now Lothar's up. Gonna go for the ultimate on Decency. Just needs the raise as well. Gonna finish him off. Bit of a cheesy Lothar's kill there, but well connected with the Requiem. And gonna be on cooldown for 100 seconds as well. And Decency gonna be respawning in 40. Bottom lane just getting harassed back a little bit right now. And what's gonna be stolen? Just the cold snap onto this Rubik. Still only level 8, so still no points in that null field just yet. And they're going to be so helpful against the Macropyre, Ravage, and all of the AoE damage from the Invoker as well. But he just needs to get those levels up. And having a pretty hard time. And WumbO now actually able to finally purchase up that BKB. So going to be able to wade straight into the middle of team fights. I mean, the fairly standard Shadow Fiend build is to just rush that BKB, go for those mid-game team fights, just go and stand in the middle and just deliver the pain. But item build working out fairly well for him right now. Right-click Shadow Fiend. He's got a lot of levels on his opposition as well, so doing pretty well. But he needs to contribute to these next couple of team fights. His team just cannot fight without him at all. And no TP on him either, so is one flying in? No, BKB gonna come in as well. Gonna come in, gets dropped off, but still no slot for a TP. So if this fight happens down bottom and Ravage is available on this Tidehunter, he is not gonna be in position to help this out, and that'll probably be a tier 2 as well. Radiant gonna try and push this. WumbO now trying to walk over, but I think the tier 2 might fall before he even gets close. And yep, Decency now knocking on the tier 2 right now. BKB almost up on him, just another 300 gold. Krebs comes forward, throws out the Fade Bolt, a little bit of harass there, but Towley gets the Liquid Fire off on the tower and throws down the Dual Breath on the creeps. So looks like this tier 2 is gonna fall, and WumbO now coming in from the side. Looks like he's in here just in time. Fortification gonna pop up with the Blink Ravage forward. Hits on 3. Krebs immediately picked up. Tornado flies through as well. West, can he get into that split? No, gets stunned up. But in comes WumbO from behind. BKB'd up. 1 kill, 2 kill. Looking for Decency. Right clicks on Odin. 3 kills for him. Decency hiding in the trees. And WumbO now retreats out. But the tier 2 is picked up. 3 for 3 the trade. But WumbO's teammates paying the price there, and I'm not sure if this SF can carry out this game alone. Towley gonna spot out that ward with his sentry there, which only has a few seconds left, so fortunate for him. And WumbO now on the chase with that Lothar's popped off. And Towley, is he gonna be able to escape here? Actually gonna try and TP out WumbO. Is he gonna crush the high ground in time? No. So Towley is gonna be able to make it out of there. And well chosen spot the TP there. I mean, just out of sight, so WumbO wouldn't have been able to see him until he crested the high ground. And I guess it's something that bots love to do as well. They'll just barely get on top of the hill and then they'll start to TP out. And it's a pain in the ass, and it works really well. So well played by Towley. Not saying that he's a bot or anything like that, but and I mean WumbO came in from behind on that team fight, but 3 of his teammates already picked off before the fight sort of even started. And able to do cleanup, but I mean look at this level discrepancy. Rubik's level 8. WumbO is level 21. So while the Shadow Fiend is doing extremely well, his team is just not benefiting at all from all of these kills that he's grabbing up. And Decency now with that BKB finished up, so not going to care as much about the Requiem of Souls. And Odin now going to spot out WumbO, but there is no detection. He's just going to go into the Lothars. And Towley still has the whole bunch of sentries, but he's being picked off extremely... Well, actually, no, he survived that last team fight. But then not dropping down any sentries on these pushes. I mean, WumbO is coming in from some really weird angles, but if they can pick off this Shadow Fiend, then the game is really theirs. And he's got a DD bottled up. That's going to be... Well, that's going to be scary. It really is. And this poor Rubik. He is just not having a fun time at all. 0, 8, and 6. I mean, West 0, 5, and 5, so doing okay. Phase boost picked up on him. Has had that blink dagger for a while. Now heading towards an Ags. And are the Radiant going to form up here? Maybe looking towards Roshan. And Ravage is now just off cooldown. They've got great sight of the dire side right now. They've actually smoked up. Dust going to pop off. Sandstorm, now the target, gets into those Wex Orbs, trying to just phase boot away. Floss continues to chase. Is he going to be able to get in range? Not quite. West blinks forward, gets off the Drunken Haze, but the team fight is now going to break out. Here comes the Blink Rabbit. WumbO gets into that Lothar's. DD pops off as well. He's going to get the Requiem of Souls off, but Decency is BK beat up. He wants to try and right-click. WumbO that's done. He's out, now pops off the BKB, right-clicking away, and the Brewmaster ultimate is here as well. WumbO switches targets, but Kreb is not going to have a fun time at all. Decency comes back in. He's on the retreat, pops off those stick charges, but Winter Minute going down as well, so 2 for 3 the trade there, in fact. And Ravage popped off as well. Decency going to spot out WumbO, just trying to harass as best he can. Cannot take him head to head right now. And now he's going to go after West. Fairly tanky as that Brewmaster, so going to actually keep chasing for now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pick him off, but maybe just looking to lay down a little bit of harassment. And WumbO almost to a butterfly as well. He's up to level 22 again. Huge discrepancy. This poor Rubik, only level 9. And Decency's going to spot him out. Is he going to be able to get this kill off? Heading forward. Rubik's only got basic boots. Telekinesis on. West actually going to blink forward. Is there any detection here? No. WumbO going for those blind raises. And Decency's just going to wrap around now. But everyone on the Radiant side almost back up. Winter Minute going to be there in just a second. Odin finished up that Hood of Defiance. So a lot more survivable against that Requiem. But, I mean, he's been initiating all these fights anyway. He doesn't need the huge survivability. And now the dust pop off. Decency going to pop off that BKB. Floss now sticking forward. But Decency looks like he might be able to make it out of here. WumbO and Krebs coming in from the side. Decency's still on their retreat. Can pop off that Urn Charge in just a second. He's going to try and TP out. And is going to be hit by the Crystal Nova. Is there going to be a blind raise? No, Decency's actually going to pick up that kill, but finished off by the Fade Bolt there. So maybe just a little bit too greedy there. Was a track kill as well, so probably not doing too badly. And I'm still 1.5k gold up on him, so picking up that kill there, but dying in the process. And how far away is the Ravage? 25 seconds, but looks like WumbO wants to make some action happen down on this bottom lane. And Odin still wants to finish off that creep, but now able to safely retreat off. I mean, Dire actually going to head into the Roshan pit right now, and there isn't direct sight on this for the Radiant side. They'll know that nobody has walked past this ward, so either they've all gone this way or they've gone straight into the pit. And I don't think, are the Radiant going to try and stop this? Odin's now moving in position. He's got the Ravage available, but look at Roshan fall. I mean, presence of the Dark Lord minus armor doing a lot there. And Kool-Aid's still a long way away from that BKB. WumbO going to pick up the edges as well. Almost a completed inventory for him. Maybe going to sell off one of the cheaper items. Perhaps finish a Satanic, but there's not a whole lot left for him to farm, and his teammates have just not been getting any of it. I mean, Krebs can now afford to upgrade his boots. 1.2k picked up on him. But, again, not having a fun time on this Rubik. Sandstorm, how is that Hex coming along? He's almost there. Just another 500 gold. And Winter Minute actually opting to pick up an AC there. So good for sort of counteracting the presence of the Dark Lord. And a big help for his team as well. Especially with Decency and sort of the right-clickier heroes over on the Radiant side. So Sandstorm still very, very close to that Hex. And Kool-Aid, he's tracked up, but he still wants to Rambo in right now. WumbO now can head up towards the top lane, but Winter Minute just going to TP straight out. And there's a lot of momentum actually in this wave. It's going to take the Dire a little bit of time to pull that back towards this tier 3. They've only got the one tier 2 to claim left, so they've actually, and the tier 2 on mid. So up a little bit in terms of towers right now. And West just straggling behind a little bit right now, but he's not going to be in any trouble whatsoever. And Sandstorm, can he get this Hex up before the next team fight? If he can, it's going to be extremely big. I mean, WumbO's down to still an 8-second BKB charge. But if they can Hex him up, it's not going to be all that difficult to burst him down. He's not going to get any of the evasion. He's not going to have any armor, no lifesteal. And if he can't get that BKB off, he's fairly squishy. He still has the Aegis, so he's got that second chance. But how much longer does he have with that? Still a very long time, in fact. So not going to have any trouble there. And Kool-Aid's still a very, very long way away from that BKB. unfortunately. Is there anything on the courier for him? No. And dire side, they've got a big advantage in the hands of the Shadow Fiend, who's now actually heading over towards mid. Kool-Aid needs to be extremely careful. And looks like they just want to pick up this tier 2 as well. Is that enough time for the Invoker? That's the bit that, to me, that is really the big question right now. And he's pushing down on bot. He just needs 20 gold. 20 gold to the Sheepstick. Can he just pick up this one last creep? Even if he just throws the tornado to get it. Is he just going to wait it out? Yep, 5 gold. Team fight might break out on mid, however. 3 seconds down onto Decency. Kool-Aid gonna reality rift him back. Decency now in the middle of West, blinking forward, but he's gonna be picked up before he even gets off the split. It's huge. Is the Dire gonna back off? Looks like they might have to. They pick up the tier 2, but WumbO not tracked up. Why is he going for neutral crepes? He's tracked. Tries to load those. Ravage gonna pop just for him. WumbO still has that second life. Dire side now moving in. Kreb is only gonna be able to grab that gush. WumbO second life coming up for him. Cold snap onto him, and Sandstorm comes in. Does he have that Hex? Yes, he does. WumbO right-clicking, trying to stay alive. He's godlike, goes into the Aegis. That's popped off, but he's going to come straight back. EMP going to land, doing some good chain stun as well. WumbO still with that BKB available, still not popping enough just yet. Now goes for it. Good damage. Keeps right-click. Decency going to go down as well. WumbO just wants these kills. Tally, WumbO right-click going to finish him off. Ultra kill for WumbO. And Kool-Aid still managing to survive that fight as well. And Kreb is surviving too. I mean, had West gotten that ultimate off, that could have been huge. And the Ravage was popped just for WumbO as well. Had that Aegis available. And this might be a tier 3, in fact. Are there any buybacks? There's a buyback on Decency. Hasn't chosen to use it just yet. He's only 30 seconds away. Tidehunter's going to be spawning fairly soon, along with the Jakiro as well. And Manta Style purchased up by WumbO. So even more damage there. Sandstorm trying to do what he can to defend these Raxes. There is no fortification, however, but the EMP gonna force Krebs and Kool-Aid back. WumbO deciding he just does not care. Odin now blinks for it, gets off the anchor smash, but look at that right click, even with the 40% reduction, WumbO able to pick that up, and still beyond godlike. Ice Path's just barely missing. Sandstorm now moving forward, has that Hex, right clicking it out, turns around, right click on the creep, WumbO on the retreat, no Lothars just for a second. Tally trying to get position, doesn't get the Ice Path. WumbO turns around, has the BKB, has the Requiem, life stealing off Sandstorm. He's fairly slow, however, gets the Lothars up, backstab there. Winter Minute now getting the stun off, and WumbO finally gonna fall. Beyond godlike streak ended by Decency. And a lot of cold in the pockets of that Bounty Hunter. And no Rax picked up either. WumbO's going to be dead for a long time. It might be a tier 2 on mid just for that. Tidehunter a little while away, but Ravage still on cooldown anyway. So not the biggest difference there. And I don't know if the Dire can defend this right now. I mean, they've still got the Brewmaster ultimate. The Floss doing a little bit better. He's actually now got a drum picked up. And Krebs picked up a 4-stick as well. Good mobility there. Has the EMP. And is he going to be hit by the tornado? West blinks forward one more time. Can he get the ultimate off? Finally gets the ulti. Decency now a little bit of trouble tanking up that tower. Going to get stunned up. Pops out the BKB, however. Tally on the retreat. Throws down the Macropyre. Only going to hit on that little air spirit. And Kool-Aid now moving forward, but he doesn't have any spells. He's too and West just nothing to do in this ultimate. Hexed up the... Well, not Hex, but Cyclone up the creep. Decency now going to be spotted out by the dust. He's going to be picked off. So one kill now going the way of the Dire side. Krebs in big trouble. He's now cold snapped up. Odin comes forward. He's got the Ravage. Hits on 3. Kool-Aid's back in. Has one reality rift, but great Ice Path lands on 2. Kool-Aid and West in big trouble. West trying to retreat out. He's going to have stick charges in just a second, but no, that last right click's going to finish him off. And Odin still chasing Sunstrike. Not going to land, but blink forward. Gush as well. Picking up that kill. 4 dead. Odin now just going to TP back home. And WumbO having to watch all of this from the sideline. Tier 2 going to go down as well. And are they going to back off here? I mean, WumbO is now back up. And top and bot are pushing in just a little bit. There's still a tier 2 down on bot. And Odin's now down there to handle it. But WumbO, I think he just needs to wait for his team to respawn. He needs the disables. He's got so much damage, but he needs, I guess, the rest of the heroes on his team to sort of soak up the disables. On the Radiant side. If he gets chain stunned, then he's just not doing significant damage. And between the Dragon Tail, the Ice Path, the Hex on the Invoker, he is being locked down perpetually. And 6 seconds, well, now on a 6-second BKB charge. and cannot buy. Well, I don't believe in this version. No, not anymore. Definitely not in this version of CM. He can't rebuy that. He'd have to completely drop the BKB to get a new one. So that's 3.9k gold, as opposed to what? I should be able to calculate this off the top of my head. What, 1950? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. So I mean, old costs to get your BKB from 5 seconds back up to 10 seconds. 1950, you sell the old BKB, you farm up the other half, and you know, that's your new BKB. Now all you can do is drop it. You're not allowed to sell it. It doesn't have a sell price. I don't think you're even allowed to try. So WumbO not going to be able to replenish that BKB. Maybe just going to head towards Satanic for a little bit more survivability. But again, he's so farmed, but the rest of his team, not really. Just look at that difference. WumbO on top, 4 Radiant heroes, and then the hard support for the Radiant sitting in amongst the other dire heroes. I mean, WumbO's farmed 4 times as much, well, 3 times as much as the CK. And CK is still almost to his BKB, just another 300 gold there. But the later this goes, I mean, the Radiant team are all scaling fairly evenly. They're all getting items, they're all getting farm. WumbO is getting stronger all the time, but he's capped out his inventory now. Decency gonna spot out that illusion, but just gonna clean it up. Head back to his jungle creeps. And what is happening over on the dire side right now? CK really needs that BKB, but the jungle is already cleared out. Gonna respawn in just a second, so maybe he's gonna be able to pick that up. And West still a long way away from that Aghanims. And actually opting to pick up the Blade of Alacrity first, so I guess some armor and attack speed there, or was there something on the courier? No, that's his completed Aghanim Scepter there. So that is a big, big boon for them. And he's level 17 as well, so it's effectively a rank 4 primal split. Kool-Aid very, very close to the BKB. The Dire are really in with a shot right now. CK is getting a little bit stronger. I mean, Rubik's got a few more levels. He's got 4 points in that null field now, almost up to level 16. Roshan almost respawning, just another minute left on that. And Kool-Aid needs to be careful on mid. Can he finish up his BKB just before this next fight breaks out? Decency invest up. Kool-Aid on the retreat. Buy your BKB. Buy it, buy it, buy it. There we go. Now bought up, flying over on the courier right now. And WumbO's pushing up on top, forces the TP back. He pops off the Manta. 2 TPs forced, 3 TPs forced. WumbO, get your ass out of there. Odin's gonna pop off the Ravage just for WumbO. He's got the BKB, goes for the record. Decency taking some huge damage, gets into the invis. WumbO trying to fight this 1v5. Don't think he could do it, however. Life stealing up. Now he's stunned. Now he's dead. Able to kill out the Jakiro with just the right clicks and that Requiem of Souls martyrdom. And straight with the buyback as well. There's 1 hero dead, not a whole lot. Actually, the Ravage pops there. Radiant heads straight down mid, I think. Actually, no, Roshan's back up. Roshan's back up. WumbO's going to be able to pick that up. Doesn't have the inventory space for it. But going to clear out these creeps and probably just head straight into the Roshan pit. And Kool-Aid's got that 10-second BKB. That's going to be a big, big help in this next fight. And no Ravage to no Ravage to fight against. Towley's dead for a long time as well. And they head into the pit. Kool-Aid right kicking away, but WumbO, they need you in here, man, to clean this up. He's going to farm the Ancients. I don't know about that decision. I guess feeling confident with the Ravage down. Now maybe going to finally head into the pit. Come on, WumbO. There we go. Lothar's backstab. And right clicking away. Roshan going to fall extremely quickly. And Radiant, no contest on that whatsoever. Invoker very close to his Ags, in fact. And a lot of points in the Quaz as well. Only 1 point in the Exort, going for a lot of disable. Very, very little damage. Deciding that I guess the damage dealers on his team are enough. Just wants the extra stun on the Cold Snap. I mean, longer disarm on... No, it's not a longer disarm on Deafening Blast. I think it's just the knockback duration. I guess my Invoker noobishness is showing through here, but... Just that 1 point in Exort, so lots more disable from the Quaz. And WumbO not picking up that Aegis. Kool-Aid actually has it fairly low already. WumbO pops up the Manta. Is it going to be the Rax already? Ice Path only going to hit on Kool-Aid. Now the pipe pops. WumbO pops up the BKB, wants to keep right-clicking. It's going to be the ranged Rex, and Kool-Aid dead in the middle of this, but pops up the BKB right before he dies. Save it for your second life, man. WumbO now Ice Path out, 4-sticked out. Great work by the supports, but he's extremely low and there is no second life for him. Martyrdom going to finish off the Bounty Hunter, but 3 already dead for the Dire side, and Kool-Aid not able to do anything with that second life. If you're about to die and you've got the Aegis, don't pop your BKB. Floss now going to throw down the ultimate and hit stunned out of it by the Ice Path. 4 dead right now for the Dire side, and Ravage still off cooldown. Probably a tier 3, more than likely a Rax. WumbO does not have buyback, he just used it before. And Krub, there's not a whole lot he can do, he's only got the Anchor Smash. And this might actually be game here. I mean, WumbO's dead for a whole minute, and Wintermute is doing some, well, Winter Minute, why am I calling him Wintermute? Winter Minute doing some big damage, especially with that Alacrity up as well. Huge attack speed bonus for him. And Fortification going to pop off. Going to hold on long enough for CK to get back into this game. West's going to be up in a second as well, but he doesn't have the ultimate. It's going to be the Rax dead, and another Alacrity onto Wintermute. Going to make sure of it. Fadebolt going to fly through, but the damage reduction is just not significant at this point in the game. And they can grab the tier 3 on bot as well. Sandstorm immediately heading over there. Wintermute now heading forward to tank. WumbO is still 20 seconds away. Might be the tier 3 and then backing off. Wintermute's already got that Javelin available, so caring less about the evasion. CK going big. Sandstorm in big trouble. Ravage now popping off. Wintermute just right-clicking away on West. No Panda ultimate for 10 seconds. Tally gonna try and TP out. Reality Rift pulls him back. Does not cancel the TP, but there is enough right-click damage there. And the Alacrity now up on Kool-Aid, stolen by Krebs. And Wintermute dragged backwards. He's gonna be picked off here, and WumbO's back online. He's coming back. Kool-Aid not quite picked off there. And a good defense mounted by the Dire side. And DK doesn't have buyback. Invoker does have buyback. And Jakiro does have buyback. But now they're still chasing Odin, maybe a little bit far from home. Just needs another second to get that Blink Dagger off cooldown, but no, not going to be able to find it. Floss now forcing him forward. He's going to be picked up one more time by Decency, but now grabbed up into the air. Does have the invis again, however. Well, actually, not for a little while. WumbO keeps chasing. Blink. Perfect by Odin. Almost able to make it out. Well, going backwards just a little bit there. Decency now trying to provide the distraction, I suppose. He's got the BKB and the TP. Invis now up. There is no detection on him, so he's just going to head straight back and, well, be a very happy camper. He's going to be fine to get out, not walking back past this dire sentry ward. So good decision by him to just head straight back around. And Wintermute now actually disconnecting off. So we've got another disconnect and another pause. Gold creeping in favor of the Radiant right now. XP as well. A little bit in their favor. I mean, WumbO's completely capped out, so I guess he's not leeching any XP from his teammates. But just look at that score, 22-6-2. He's doing really, really well with Shadow Fiend, and his score is fantastic. But had he been going straight into these fights, popping off the BKB, popping off the Requiem, forcing spells to be thrown at him, then I think his team could have done more. I mean, he's been doing cleanup duty in a lot of these fights, and he's gone solo a couple of times. As well, and being picked off, so while the rest of his team just sort of wanders around following him. So I guess a little bit more cohesion, and the Dire maybe would have been in a slightly better position than where they are now. They're definitely not out of it. It's a Rax each. Ranged Rax still up on mid for the Radiant side, so it is going to push a little bit towards the Dire. They're going to have to do a little bit of lane management there, but not a huge deal. And Wintermute now reconnecting, so they're going to have an unpause in just a second. Yep, there we go, 3, 2, 1. And West still with that Aghanim Scepter. He's now got the Primal Split off cooldown. The Floss dead for a little bit, but not going to be a big deal. And Decency again, able to retreat out. He's got the Monkey King Bar now picked up, and so does DK. So the evasion on WumbO, much, much less significant than it was before. And Alacrity up on him, still stolen by Krebs. Huge, well, that's actually huge attack speed. Not very much damage. Now Point and Exhort being sunk by the Invoker. So a lot more damage available for him there. And I mean, even the ice wall does damage. Why, I may never know, but I guess to give assists, something along those lines. Is there any detection on WumbO? No, Decency's gonna pop off the invis, and WumbO just gonna use that backstab to get a little bit more damage off. Just look at that right click. He is doing ridiculously. And West jungling up a little bit. I mean, not a whole lot of big items left for him. There's no assault just yet over on the Dire side, and that would be a big help for the CK, the Brewmaster, and the Shadow Fiend. But Kool-Aid now actually heading towards what looks like an armlet. So maybe a little bit late in the game for that, but he does have the Dominator. And again, nobody has stacked Ancients. I mean, I guess it's a minor point, but it's something, it's so big. I mean, both teams have this source of farm that they're barely using. I mean, as I say that, Kool-Aid now heads over. He's going to farm them up, but he's had the Dominator the whole game. There could be a stack of 20 Ancients here for him. But regardless, how is ward vision looking right now? So Radiant side all smoked up. There's no wards on the Dire side anyway. No wards for the Radiant either. Both teams playing completely blind. There hasn't been a gem bot either, so I guess support's just deciding they wanted items more. Vlad's now picked up on Tidehunter. Big help for the DK and the Bounty Hunter. The DK is going to be fighting in his ultimate, so it doesn't get the lifesteal there. They're not going to walk past the center ward, and that should be enough sight, I want to say. Yeah, it looks like it might have just been enough sight in that puny sight range of that ward. And just switching back over to net worth. Sorry, guys. But again, same sort of deal. WumbO's on top. 4 Radiant heroes. Radiant support down there, sitting just above the Rubik. And then the rest of the Radiant side, rest of the Dire side, just hanging around at the bottom. And CK now picks up that armlet, so some good damage for him and his illusions. That bonus strength does a lot for the Phantasm, but still not level 16 just yet. And now the Dire gonna go for a bit of a smoke of their own. Roshan's not going to be up for a little bit. Odin just deciding to face check the pit there, and Sandstorm now going to take advantage of those Ancients. Odin, West is revealed off. Decency is now stuck in the middle of this. In fact, he's now set up in the air, but the Ravage comes through. Hits on 4. Huge damage. Huge Ice Path. Decency BKB'd up. WumbO trying to get the ultimate off. Plus the Martyrdom multi does some reasonable damage, but the pipe now pops. Kool-Aid trying to right-click on Sandstorm, but he's just too fast with that Wex. And Kool-Aid now cheaped up. And buyback from WumbO, but 3 of his team already dead. And Brewmaster going to die before the end of his ultimate duration. And that's 4 dead. WumbO comes back. He wants the right click. Goes for Odin. Goes for Sandstorm. Now pops off the Manta. Gets Sandstorm as well. Is it Manta Illusion going to finish that off? WumbO still right clicking, but he's going down. Winter Minute and Decency doing too much damage. Combo of both MKBs doing a lot. And there's the GG call. All 5 dead for the Dire side. And Winter Minute and Decency going to be able to finish this up. No problem. Be it via Mega Creeps, be it by just going straight for the throne. But Decency scouting out that smoke gank, and again, still no detection. Actually, there was a sentry ward. It wasn't placed, but there was a sentry ward available for the Dire side as soon as they were revealed off. And I mean, Decency got grabbed up. Oh, be quiet, Krob. Be quiet. Krebs comes back in, tries to do what he can, but I mean, Decency spotted out the smoke gank, was able to BKB up and actually get out of there even after being telekinesis, and did some great damage in that fight as well. Was a big aid in picking off WumbO. And what was I don't know what that was. I hope that didn't come through on the recording, because there was a little bit of a crackly static something going on there. Anyway, I guess I shouldn't laud Decency too much. He is sort of the star of the game, I guess. He was the one that submitted it, so a big thanks to him. Game's gonna go the way of the Radiant side, and a pretty exciting one all the same. I mean, Shadow Fiend really managing to hold on there, and Dead Rubik now down in the pit, mourning his loss. But anyway, this has been another game from the Dota 2 Cast It subreddit. So people post their games, people cast the games, people submit the casted games. It's good fun. Go and do it. I've been Basekip. This has been part of my almost daily, I want to say, casting practice. I've been trying to get back into it. I've got exams coming up, so content might be a little bit sporadic after that, but after that 3 or 4 month break, there is going to be a lot coming from me. But anyway, I think I've said much too much. So anyway, that's the game over, and yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's great to have you. I hope to see you in future casts, and one more time, thanks Decency for submitting this. Guys, please go and submit. for not only myself, but for other newbie casters and amateur casters. It's great to have content to cover. It's really difficult to find stuff. I mean, tournament replays are great, but it's nice to have some of your own unique content as well. But I'm going to stop rambling. Thanks, guys. See you later.